Hi everybody, welcome to the Health How-To channel where we talk about some great life hacks and easy tips to achieve better health. In this video, we're talking about how to get through a serious illness by being positive. We'll get into 20 tips on how to stay positive when you're sick. But first, please subscribe and share your best tips that you've found to be super helpful for staying positive during sickness in the comments section below. Pressing the like button will help get this information to others. If you have someone in your life who you want to help, please share this video with them too. Also, remember that this video is purely for informational purposes and does not in any way replace any advice given by your own healthcare providers. If the information suggested aggravates your condition, please stop and ask your healthcare provider for further direction. So, let me be clear. I'm not saying that being positive will cure cancer or that being negative brings on cancer. There are no studies that prove this. However, there are some research studies that do show a correlation between a positive mindset and a reduced chance of future heart attacks and strokes, for example. Think about professional athletes. All serious athletes have a mindset that they are the best and that they will win. There's no room for self-doubt or negativity, only dedication to getting better, seeking out resources that can help them with their health, performance, nutrition, and general well-being. All their life, they've looked up to great athletes in their field and ignored naysayers that said they weren't good enough, tall enough, strong enough, or didn't start young enough. So, although being positive hasn't been scientifically proven to cure cancer, knowing that there are survivors and surrounding yourself with winners can help give you hope to keep going when things are scary and uncertain. When someone has a serious illness, they can feel scared, lonely, helpless, angry, depressed, anxious, sad, and even guilty. We shouldn't censor our feelings or pretend that they don't exist. But what if that's all you feel? If being either negative or being positive don't affect the outcome of your sickness in any way, which would you choose? Some people are naturally positive. For the rest of us, negative thinking or imagining the worst case scenario can seem like our go-to emotion. I don't know if we can really change that initial way of thinking. I think of it like our mother tongue. Our mother tongue is the language we first learned and the language we speak and think in. For someone to tell a naturally negative overthinker to just be positive when we're going through a serious sickness like cancer or taking care of someone else who is seriously ill, disabled, or who has dementia is like being told to just forget your mother tongue. Impossible. Or is it? A lot of people can think and speak several languages fluently. Is it because it's easy? No, it requires a lot of practice. If you're an English speaker and want to, say, speak Japanese, are you going to learn it by occasionally looking at a few words when you have the time? No. In order to truly be able to speak Japanese, you need to immerse yourself, watch Japanese movies, listen to Japanese music, read Japanese books, and most importantly, surround yourself with Japanese-speaking people. Well, that's what it takes to truly change from being negative to positive. Don't watch negative and cynical social media feeds. Don't listen to depressing, angry music. Don't read angry or alarming forums about your illness. And most of all, don't surround yourself with negative, toxic, or angry people. If you truly want to think in another language, this is pretty much the only way to truly become fluent. It doesn't mean that you'll forget about your mother tongue. It just means you will have another way of reframing your situation. Think of immigrants who come to a new country. Some will move to neighborhoods that only speak their mother tongue and they never assimilate to their new home. Some will embrace their new surroundings and force themselves to find a job where they have to talk to others in a whole new language. There's nothing wrong with sticking to a place where your values and language and culture is the same, but in a way, it is restricting and you could be missing out on so many new experiences. So here are 20 tips on how to get through illness by being positive. Tip number 1, join a support group where people really get what you're going through or who have come out on the other side and can help you get through those bad times. chronic or serious illness is lonely enough as it is. Instead of putting on a happy face to appease people who have never been in your shoes, it can really feel more authentic to laugh with people who have gone through the same battles. Tip number 2, smile. It doesn't have to be a grit your teeth till it hurts kind of smile. Just enough of a smile to lower your stress hormones and blood pressure. Tip number 3, designate the time spent at the hospital or recovering from chemo as a time you use for your guilty pleasure. Maybe your guilty pleasure is watching trashy reality television, TikTok dances, reading your favorite comics from childhood, playing video games, eating your favorite junk food like Nutella straight out of the jar, or cereal where marshmallows are the star ingredient. Tip number 4, make yourself a personalized playlist of uplifting, inspirational music. Specifically include those songs that you feel embarrassed about loving. Tip number 5, surround yourself with happy people. They're not purposely trying to annoy you. That's just how they are. Use them as role models. Tip number 6, avoid people who brush off or minimize your feelings though. There's a term called toxic positivity where people dismiss your negative thoughts, emotions, or talk. Often that kind of forced positivity can make you feel lonely, angry, and sad. Nobody feels positive 100% of the time, and it's perfectly valid to express negative feelings if you want to talk about the challenges you feel. Tip number 7, watch funny videos or videos of animals or babies. Who can resist them? Tip number 8, stop thinking, start doing. Instead of wishing you could have time to read, the time to write that book, or the time to learn a new instrument, start doing it now. When you're sick, you have a very acute awareness of the passage of time. Tip number 9, move and exercise to get those endorphins flowing and release the buildup of stress hormones. Exercise is probably the last thing you want to do. I get it. Even perfectly healthy, pain-free people don't like to exercise. But exercise gets your blood flowing to nutrient exchange and waste product removal, improves your immune and cardiovascular system, decreases stress, and can help release endorphins for pain relief. Number 10, spend your money on new experiences rather than objects. Studies have shown that the happiness from spending money on objects decreases over time, but the satisfaction and sense of well-being and happy memories tends to stay or even increase with experiences like a camping trip or skydiving. Tip number 11, reframe the situation. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to feel grateful that you got sick, or at least you don't have something more serious. It's more about asking yourself if there's another way of looking at a situation. Whether it's about being able to let your partner take over household chores and family responsibilities, to being able to wear funky wigs, to having an excuse to say no more often. Number 12, make that bucket list and really start planning. Often a serious illness can make us stop and re-examine our values, our priorities, and our dreams. Do you always wish you could have spent more time with your kids? Have you always wanted to travel? Have you always wanted to go to the fanciest hotel and order whatever you wanted on the menu? Number 13, use your energy on activities that make you happy and inspired. Don't waste your precious time on things that make you anxious or depressed. Number 14, think about your unique purpose in life. What were you meant to do? Is your drive to live connected to creating things or performing? Do you get immense satisfaction from taking care of others? Is your job what you find the most rewarding? When you have more clarity about how you can align your talents with your passion and contribute to your bigger picture, you may have more optimism and hope for the future. Researchers have found that having a sense of purpose was linked to a decreased incidence of heart and stroke. Number 15, focus on things that are in your control, like your activity level, your diet, your attitude, and your reaction to stress. Don't waste your precious energy trying to control things that aren't up to you. Number 16, celebrate small wins. There will be a lot of ups and downs during recovery. If you feel better today compared to yesterday, great. If your appetite was better today than last week, awesome. If you threw up one less time today, way to go. Tip number 17, surround yourself with life. How about starting a garden or getting a pet? If those things feel like too much responsibility right now, how about a walk through the forest or a petting zoo? Number 18, get dressed. Now, I love staying in my pajamas all day too, but it also leads to not showering, eating chips straight out of the bag, and binge watching Netflix for days. At least brush your hair, put on clothes that are comfy and make you feel happy when you look in the mirror. Tip number 19, love where you live. You don't need to clean your place out top to bottom. Pick the one room that you spend the most time in and throw out any empty food containers and dirty dishes. Put clean sheets on the bed, open up the window for some fresh air, and set out your favorite photos or objects that bring you good memories. And finally, tip number 20, have a Scarlett O'Hara moment. Cry it out and then tell yourself to think about it tomorrow. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any health how-to videos where we talk about easy ways to improve your health. Also, please press that like button because it can really help get this information to those that need it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.